The dragon is gone. Not in fire or fury, not in the way legends promise, just faded away after a preemptive attack, born of fear rather than understanding. And in the quiet that follows, something heavier settles in its place. A title, a gaze, a devotion that feels close to worship. In the dim corridors beneath the world, where time flickers in a handheld stone, Cullen begins to understand that carrying the dark razor may be the simplest part of what lies ahead. Because some burdens aren't forged in steel, some are spoken. We've crossed a threshold, not just in place, but in tone. Welcome back to the Dark Razor Chronicles streamcast. I'm Mike Carmel, and this is the first season of Book 3, Oath Sworn. In the last episode, we stood in the presence of something ancient, something mythic, and we watched it fade. A dragon, not as a beast to be slain, but as a relic of an era that fades with it. Now, in Season 6, Episode 8, The Weight of Names, we sit with what comes after, grief that lingers. And in the stillness beneath Direwood, in the corridors of an older world, something else begins to take shape. Something quieter, but far more dangerous. A title. First, Parthis. What does it mean to be given power you don't understand? To be seen as something you're not sure you can be? And, more importantly, what happens when others believe it? Let's step into the quiet, because this is where the fractures begin.
Cullen, Avon. I open my eyes to see the others gathered around her, Sean rising from a knee. Sha'Rayna seems to have passed. Something in me seems to sense it, yet Sharael still strokes her, perhaps not knowing the beast is gone and trying to comfort her still, or maybe seeking comfort for herself. Dagger shifts beneath my resting hand and looks up at me. He always knows what I'm thinking. It's a strange comfort in this stranger place. I scoop him into my arms and stand. Sharael looks up from her quiet contemplation. Her eyes are rimmed red, her cheeks streaked with tears. It's time to move on, I say. If she had not known of Sha'Rayna's departure, she accepts my judgment and seems to resign herself by standing. I nod toward the far door, but offer no more. Just lift my pack with one hand and carry it to the threshold. The other side of the mountain of books and scrolls is no different, with a door opposite the first. The backside of Rayna's enormous form gleams in the same gentle light, her scales still lustrous. Real gold, I wonder? Is that even possible? When I reach the door, the others have formed behind me. I set my pack down and place Dagar on top. Care and Sean step forward to examine, finding the ancient's doorway replaced, no longer the sealed, sliding thing that held back the peeds, but an ordinary door in a wood frame. Care tries the handle. It opens outward. Beyond it is darkness, though I see fine. The orange tint of my night vision reveals a wide corridor ahead. Still, I flip open my belt buckle. The thick, syrupy light spills out and floods the space, rich and complete, swallowing every shadow. Care throws me a look of disapproval, but says nothing. If there are traps or enemies ahead, I want everyone to see them. I swing my pack up onto my shoulders. Dagar clings to the bag with all four limbs, squealing with delight. The others grimace, but his voice reassures me. Dagar always seems to know when we're safe. His light-hearted nature cuts through the dark like a torch, and I wish, truly wish, his full character would return to us. He's been quiet, aloof, ever since Care and Sean joined us. At first, he was cautious. He was measuring them. But that's done. They're committed. They've proven that much. His guard doesn't need to stay up. I'll tell him so. The corridor ahead is all utility. Pipes and conduits crisscross the walls and ceiling, disappearing and reappearing at random. But the apartments along the way, those tell a different story. Rough lines score the floor and ceiling, marking where walls once stood. There was once a warren of hallways and small rooms, now opened into larger spaces, practical and lived in. Ancient consoles and panels still cling to the walls, repurposed as desks and counters. Beds, tables, chairs, elfin grown, abundant and flawless. Their craftsmanship still astounds me. I want to know how they grow such things. One day, I think, if we live through this. We find stores of dried goods and running water, taps, spigots, pipes. We replenish supplies, taking as much as we can carry. We don't know how far the underway stretches, Farthen's word for it, but we'll be ready. We gather in a common room. Care explains again that this passage will lead us all the way to the southern shores of Victoria. I note the name, Victoria, not Victoria. A small difference, one that always catches me. He says there are exit points along the way, access to surface settlements, old supply paths Etherson's people once used. Even with the South Blades gone, Care believes the path ahead remains secure. Centuries of elfin defense should count for something. He leads us to one such way. A heavy metal door with the word exit printed in capitals above it. Reinforced, braced, locked down tight with a network of crossbars.
It will lead to the surface,
he says. But it would be foolish to use it now. We don't know how far we are from Direwood, or worse, still trapped beneath it. The thinning may be right above us, or descending fast. There's no sign that the Garrons ever came through. No trail, no damage, no blood. If they fought Sha'Rayna, they likely fell before making it this far. They have bigger problems than hunting us. I've decided. We move quickly, not slowly. Care doesn't protest my decision. He's already said the way ahead is secure. It must be midday, or close. But down here, time's just a guess. Does anyone have a feel for the time? I ask. Farthen, halfway through unlacing his pack, chuckles.
Well, lad, that's easy.
He digs into a side pouch and pulls free a flat black stone, no bigger than a chestnut. At first glance, it looks ordinary, just smooth river rock. But as he rolls it between his fingers, a faint ribbon of color shimmers across one edge, deep red bleeding into orange.
It's dusk,
he says with a grin. Dusk? You can tell just by that? He nods.
It changes with the sun's position, even down here.
I step closer, drawn in. So it changes color with the time of day?
With the position of the sun, simple magic, really.
That's remarkable. He shrugs like it's nothing and extends it to me.
Oh, it's just a sunstone. Got heaps of 'em back in Lothbrook. Handy little things. Here. 'Tis one of my favorites. Works even in the dark.
He cups one hand over the stone, creating a hollow space. I know what I should see inside. Ribbons of red and orange like the fading edge of sunset. But with my eyes, everything in shadow washes orange. Even this. I can't take that, I say.
Nonsense, lad.
Farthin presses it into my hand anyway.
Don't know why you haven't got one already. Your first Parthis, ain't you? Walking about with the razor and all. What's a magic rock compared to that? It's a gift. From me.
His hand clasps my wrist, firm and warm, and the stone settles into my palm like it belongs there. It's warm, I murmur.
Aye, track surface temperature too.
I look at him, truly look at him. Thank you, Farthin. I'll treasure it. Sharael wanders into the room, perhaps drawn by the sound. Her eyes are still puffy, her cheeks flushed from crying. But something stirs in her again when she sees the stone in my hand.
It tells the time and the temperature?
She asks, stepping closer. I hold it up slightly. It shows the sky, too, like it really is. Cloudless, I assume.
Nay, doesn't show clouds, though that'd be a neat trick.
Oh, so it yellows like the sun?
No,
He says, shaking his head.
Never seen a sunstone before, have you? Shows blue sky during the day, sunrise, sunset. That's all.
I see.
Her smile fades, not out of disappointment, but something more practical.
So, are we walking through the night then?
I look back down at the stone. The colors are dim now, the last ember of daylight fading along its edge. No, I say. I think we should take advantage of these beds. We might not see another for a long time. There are 6 bedchambers in all, each with 2 small beds. Care had protested the idea of resting, said it was too soon. He claimed we should be on our way. My argument, that good trails space out their respites, and I expect the tunnels to be no different. We should be at full strengths before we start out. There is no sense in pushing ourselves to the point of exhaustion. He only relented when he saw the others siding with me. I lie in bed, facing the doorway, still dressed, blanket draped loosely over me. There are no windows here, no natural light. But my night vision paints the world in orange hues. At the edge of the doorway, a faint tinge of gray breaks through, the watch lantern glowing softly in the corridor beyond. Dagger has crawled over me twice now, each time seeking warmth. Eventually, he settles behind my neck, half on the pillow. I can't see him, but I feel him. His fur brushes my skin. His breath lifts and falls in time with mine. His purr is barely audible now, but I remember how loud it used to be, deep and wet with some kind of lung sickness. I stare at the gray outline in the door, feeling my eyes grow heavy. Just as I begin to drift, a flicker of movement jolts me fully awake. Something passes in the hallway. My hand inches toward the razor, hanging from a chair within reach, until I see her. Sharael steps inside, quiet and uncertain, feeling her way through more than seeing it. I exhale, tension easing as she approaches. I'm about to ask if she's all right when she reaches out and touches the bed. Her hand moves over my legs, then she climbs in behind me. She shifts and wriggles, shoving Dagger up higher on the pillow. He makes no protest. She tugs the blanket, adjusts her place, and then she's still, snuggled close to my back. I think she's here to sleep, maybe just for comfort. But then her whisper drifts into my ear.
A dragon. Have you ever dreamed the likes?
No, I whisper back.
I've never seen one in real life. They come from McNova, the 4th Inferno.
Her voice gains strength.
The White Circle used to speak of plans to employ such creatures. Dragons with high magical aptitude. But they never did. Not in my lifetime.
Why? I ask, her breath warm against my back.
Magic. no matter how small, creates ripples in the world. And some creatures, dragons especially, can feel those ripples. They can discern them. If trained, they could record them. The circle wanted dragons as scribes, librarians, creatures that could sense magic being cast anywhere in the garden and document it.
Another pause. I whisper, "Why do you think the circle never followed through in your time?"
As far as I know, it was because dragons are unusual beasts. They have powerful wills. They develop intense, fanatical personas. Colored dragons, brown, white, red, they're often quite chaotic, wild. But metallics, copper, bronze, silver, are more intelligent, more ordered. Still, I've never even heard of golden dragons until today.
She exhales.
She must have been noble. Good. Perhaps a queen or a goddess.
Queen? Goddess? A thought stirs. Farthen. He addresses you and the dragon similarly. Sha'Rayna. Sharael. Do you know why he put such emphasis on your name?
Yes.
She says immediately. No hesitation. As if she's been waiting for me to ask.
It's a courtesy. Shah is like majesty or highness. It's a way of showing reverence.
I see. Though I'm not sure I do. I think back to the day we met, the laboratory beneath my family's crypt. Had she pronounced the name that way? Maybe. Have I been saying it wrong this entire time? I start to ask, so... Her fingers press against my lips, gently. Shh. She whispers into my ear. A quiet sniffle follows. Her hand slides down to my chest, and she pulls herself closer. My heart kicks at the contact. But my mind won't settle. Did she stop me to avoid the question? Or is she just tired of talking? A sharp clatter from the hall makes me rise on one elbow, ready to leap, ready to draw steel.
It was only me.
Sean calls gently. I exhale, lowering back onto the pillow. I wait to see if she will say more, but soon Sharael's breathing slows. A tiny snore escapes her lips. Dagger shifts, slipping down between our two heads. He turns in place once, twice, then stills. I let out a long, quiet breath, and finally, I try to let sleep take me too. Sean wakes us with soft words.
Dia, first Parthis. It is time to rise.
I grunt in reply. I'm lying on my stomach and shift uncomfortably. There's a darkness in my waking mood. I didn't sleep well, fitful, disturbed. I tossed and turned, now tangled in blankets, a heavy lump beneath me. I push up from the bed and realize the lump is Dagar. It always startles me to find him like this. I'm always surprised he's not only survived being smothered, but seems to enjoy it. Sharael lies on her back, sighing at my movement, but she doesn't rise. Dagar's head pokes from the bald mass of blankets, flashing a goofy grin. He rises fluidly, stretches, arching his back like a cat. Then he lowers to a sit and begins licking a foreleg. It does nothing to improve my mood. I'd slept in my clothes, if twisted, bound. I start writing them and find myself wishing for the water closet. I stretch and announce my intention with quiet words, then step out to find it. I emerge into the hallway, still wrapped in my dark mood, only realizing too late that I've left the razor hanging on the back of a chair. I could go back, but it'll just get in the way. There's lantern light to both ends of the hall. The left leads to the watch post Care established, a solid, ancient door like the one that barred us yesterday. A door strong enough to hold off the cave peeds. This one, though, actuates with old power, bisected corner to corner, sliding silently into the wall with a touch to the inset plate. Someone has been on watch all night. I know it wasn't Sharael. I know it wasn't me. I head right, following the lantern light toward the common room. 6 chairs circle a central table. The ancients favored whites, off-whites, black, and muted shades. It's in the cabinetry and countertops that line the far corner. Sean sits at the table's end, working over his pack, fussing with something inside it.
Good morning, First Parthis.
He says respectfully. I'm still not used to the title, not even sure what it means in this world. I'm hesitant to ask, afraid it might undermine the office I now represent, so I bear it, at least until I can find the answers. I nod, voice low with sleep and sullen mood. The water closet?
That way, First Parthis.
Sean points to a door just visible down a short hallway. The water closet proves a welcome distraction. It's just as surprising as the last. The light inside flares to life as I step in, then steadies at a soft, pleasing level. I take in the room, spacious, pristine. There's a bathing area that looks like a single piece of polished alabaster, floor to ceiling, seamless. No spigots, just a silver disc in the ceiling above it. The toilet is much the same as the one I found yesterday. There's a cabinet with an inset basin and mirror, though the wall-mounted box that washed my hands is missing. I finish my routine, grinning like a child at the experience. Still feeling the need to clean my hands, I reach into the bathing alcove, holding them under the silver disc. I don't expect much. My arms, shoulders, and face are instantly bathed in warmth, though no water touches me. A pulsing, a vibration passes across my skin. Even the sleeves of my jacket tremble. A faint gray mist rises from my clothes. Startled, I pull back, marveling. I see what it did. My jacket cuff is clean. My hand, what I thought was already clean, is now spotless. Apparently, it hadn't been clean at all. On impulse, I step fully into the tub, boots and all. My hair tingles, lifts slightly. I watch as grime and dust lift from my body in fine wafts. My clothes vibrate, my skin tingles. I hold my arms out from my sides and feel the dirt being pulled away. The gray cloud clings to the walls of the basin, then fades, absorbed somehow. I watch it vanish, then turn to face the wall and wait, letting it finish its work. I can't stop smiling. My cheeks ache from it. In haste, I begin to disrobe. It takes no longer than washing my hands. The gray cloud vanishes. I could have stepped out long moments ago, yet I linger, arms resting on the alabaster wall, head lowered against it as the warmth engulfs me, the vibration easing my dark mood and tense body. I've never felt anything like it. I could stay here all day. When I return to the common room, so has my dark mood. Sharael sits beside Sean at the table. They're not speaking. Sean's eyes are lowered. I recount my discovery. I'm barely finished when Sharael rises, already on her way to see it for herself. For a moment, I remember how delighted she'd been when she first saw Marta's water closet. The thought brings another smile to my face and a small amount of soothing to my mood. I sit across from Sean. He seems uncomfortable with my presence. Not dislike, I don't think. More like he feels unworthy. Like sitting beside a king, uninvited. "Sean," I say, "thank you for letting me sleep through the night." He shrugs, sheepish.
You are first Parthis. It is beneath your station to stand watch.
I suspected as much. It's not, though, I say. My title aside, I'd rather you treat me as an equal. His face scrunches in confusion, just as a squeal of delight comes from the direction of the water closet. I glance toward it, picturing her standing beneath that heavenly glow, with clothes on. I turn back. He's still uncomfortable. I decide to ask what's been gnawing at me, hoping I can do it without marring my image. "Sean, what does the title First Parthis mean to you?" He looks at me, and I swear I see fear in his eyes. The expression makes me want to withdraw the question. I know that fear.
First Parthis, I'm not worthy of telling you your place.
His apprehension pulls up a memory. I was 11. My dad had asked me something similar. "Cullen," he'd said, "you're becoming a man. Soon you'll swear the oath. What does that mean to you?" The weight of the question had frozen me. I didn't know how to answer. My dad had seen my fear, told me it wasn't a test, just a chance to speak truth. "Be at ease, Sean. The office I hold is old, no doubt transformed over time. There is no right or wrong in your answer. I only wish to know what it means to you." He breathes heavily, still uneasy. My words haven't helped. He begins without pause to contemplate his answer.
Apart from Dia and the circles, First Parthis is the embodiment of the circle's law. The First Parthis is the infallible knowledge of that law. First Parthis is judge and executioner. First Parthis is commander of the circle's forces in times of war.
I hold up my hand. His words sound rehearsed, like something read from scripture. He looks down at the table, maybe worried he's answered wrong. I notice he hasn't said, "I am these things," only that the First Parthis is. "And do you think we're at war now?" He shrugs.
It's a matter of opinion. The battles are never over. Not until the Novi Mundi sees fruition will we have peace.
The Novi Mundi. I think that's what Sharael called the Circle's plan to change everything. The one that gifts magic to the races and weaves the laws of rule into instinct.
We've been unguided too long, First Parthis. The agents of the circles have had no leaders since the circles disappeared 40 years ago. We've not had a First Parthis since Remhold, who resigned after the razor went missing.
He must see it on my face, that I don't believe I am what he says, that I don't believe I deserve the title.
Dia has appointed you. That means you are all those things.
I wonder if he says that for my sake, to bolster my confidence, or if it's a genuine statement of faith. "You revere her?" I ask.
Yes, of course. Don't you?
He seems surprised, sincere. "Well, yes, I suppose."
Suppose.
His brow furrows deeper.
You are not in awe that she is here among us?
Awe? Hardly. I like her, truly, but I'm not in awe of her. Not unless you count being 600 years old. That's awe-worthy. Her being White Circle? I'm indifferent.
Yes, well, your circumstances are unusual. To be so familiar with her. But just look at our situation. We've been called to action. The razor has been found. But you, First Parthis, are appointed by her hand, her consort and bearer of the razor. Of all people, you should be the most in awe.
It sounds like a rebuke. Well, no time like the present to ask the other question that's been eating at me. Why do you call her Dia? I stress you, trying to avoid asking what it means outright, hoping his explanation defines it instead. Sean exhales through his nose, his face brightening with something between happiness and confusion. He looks around, searching for the right words. His eyes glisten, and I can't tell if it's duty or something deeper. Infatuation, maybe.
To call her Dia
He says slowly.
is my way of honoring her. It is how I show appreciation for what she gives me.
And what is that? That question brings a greater light to his face. More confusion, more happiness.
The least of it is the honor she pays us by walking among us. More so that she would speak my name. Greater still that she would touch me, my hand, my arm. That she would look me in the eye and speak candidly.
He swallows.
It is more honor than I deserve. Yet she gives more. She blesses me with her favor, and I am empowered by this. In return, I give her my devotion, and I promise to recruit others to join me in this.
He pauses, breath trembling.
No title does her justice. This is the highest honor in the words of man.
I blink, taken aback. Zealot indeed. I'd liked Sean before this, but now, I'm not so sure. Is this fanaticism dangerous? I remember a man in Parton, the town I grew up in. He killed a woman in a jealous rage. They said he'd harassed her, claimed he acted for her own good. His feelings were never returned by the woman. In the end, he killed her, to protect her, he said, from those who would not love her as he did. I nod, pretending to understand. I mull over his words, remember the raw emotion on his face. Maybe I'm being too harsh. Maybe she is a queen among peasants. Maybe Sean has spent a lifetime hearing stories and seeing nothing, sworn to an oath with no face to follow. Maybe he fell in love with the legend of it, raised her in his mind to a height no mortal can match. And now, face to face with her beauty, her presence, I do understand how overwhelming it must be. Still, his fervor gives me pause. I decide to go no deeper. I don't like what I'm hearing. I stand. Sean looks up at me, no longer radiant, not joyous, just worried. Thank you, I say. I'm glad of your devotion to myself and to Sharael. Then, trying to act the part of first Parthis, I turn without another word. One thing's certain. I won't leave the razor behind again. As I return to my room, I hear Sharael emerging from the water closet, her gleeful voice echoing down the hallway. The room we slept in is dark. I see it in hues of orange. I head straight to the razor, hanging sheathed over the chair. Alone again, Sean's words creep back in, dredging up the darkness that plagued my sleep. I buckle my sword belt and return to the dining room. Sean still sits at the end of the table. Sharael is one seat to his right. Dagger is sprawled across the tabletop, curled beside hardtack and a jar of fruit preserves. Sean is setting the table with food. A bag of jerk, dried fruit, something that looks like the pan forte my mother used to make. Dried beans and nuts, hard cheese broken into chunks, and an unbroken, dark-crusted loaf. A feast of travel rations. The elves must have deep reserves. Sean's hands are clasped on the table. He's whispering, quiet, low. Though facing Sharael, he doesn't seem to address her. His eyes are down, or maybe closed. As I step closer, he lifts a hand to his forehead. The gesture is stiff, flat, like a salute. He presses thumb and forefinger to his brow, then draws them down past his nose and mouth. If it's a salute, it's not for me. His eyes rise. Then, without a word, he reaches for the dried fruit. The gesture lingers in my thoughts. Odd. I've never seen anything like it. I want to ask, but I've already asked too much for one morning. Maybe later. Maybe in private. Sharael or Dagar might know. I take the head seat, the one they left open, the only seat that doesn't require me to shuffle awkwardly to avoid it. As I sit, Sharael glances at me, sheepish. Why? Because of Sean? Or something else? Sean no longer pays me any attention. While eating, he keeps his eyes mostly on Sharael, his charge, sitting close. She keeps her gaze down. Odd. I would have thought she'd be glowing after the water closet. As I adjust my chair, I watch her. I miss that girlish enthusiasm. But I doubt it will return while Sean or Care are with us. I poke Dagar in the side.
Hey, what's the deal here?
He snaps. No humor in it. It wasn't even a hard poke, just enough to try and break the tension. His shrill little voice startles Sean, who looks up at me. Just wanted to say good morning, I offer, still watching Dagar. He squints up at me, tail flicking behind him like a lazy metronome.
Yeah, huh? Well, fine.
That earns the faintest snort from Sharael. She still doesn't lift her eyes, but the corners of her mouth twitch. Dagar returns to his perch like nothing happened. Sean resumes eating, but the tension hangs in the room like smoke. I reach for a piece of dried fruit and chew absently, pretending not to feel it. This atmosphere. It's different than the campfire meals or quick rations we've shared on the road. This feels like a morning in the house of a reluctant host. Everyone too polite, too careful. Everyone trying not to make noise in a room full of strangers, even though we're not. I glance between them. Sharael, quiet and self-contained. Sean, respectful, but too intense. Dagar, the only one pretending to be normal, which is saying something. Maybe it's the weight of the day, the razor, the title, first Parthis. Or maybe we're just all remembering that we don't quite know how to be together yet. I lean back in my chair, stretch my arms a little too far, and sigh louder than necessary. Well, if no one's going to say it, food's good. Thanks, Sean. He nods, perhaps grateful for something safe to respond to.
I didn't know what you would prefer, so I chose variety.
It's perfect, I say, mouth half full of panforte. My mother made something like this. Stole all the figs from our neighbor's orchard to do it. That gets a faint huff from Dagar.
I'd have stolen the whole tree.
Finally, I catch Sharael's eyes. There's something soft there now. Maybe relief. She speaks without looking at any of us.
We will not have mornings like this for long. Best to enjoy them.
I nod, finishing the last bite of cheese. I'm trying. But even as I say it, that weight presses back on me. The razor's pull. The ghost of a title I barely understand. Sean's devotion. Sharael's expectations. The weird ones. The burning sky. The mausoleum. The fire. The silence creeps back in before I can stop it. And just like that, the moment's gone again. I feel like it's only Sean and Care that dampen the mood. Farthen strikes me as someone with more fun in his heart, though I haven't had the chance to know him well. And we're still not past the shadow of his wife's death. My family name hangs over that like a storm cloud. Dagger's eyes widen like he's about to say something funny and cute, but it never comes. His expression wilts. He drops his gaze and returns to the piece of jerk he was about to chew on. Well, I think, this is a sorry bunch. It's like we've all just been scolded for whitewashing the privy seat. Not that I've ever done that. I grab some hardtack and bite it without care. The cracker shatters in my grip. Pieces skitter across the table. Sharael's hand slides gently across the surface and rests on my forearm. She gives me a small smile. I must look darker than I feel, if she thinks I need that kind of comfort. I try to return the smile as I crunch my tack. Her grin grows, lopsided, playful. A peek of the girl I miss. I wonder what she's thinking. She starts on a piece of jerk, and I catch the flicker of mirth in her eyes as she chews. I want to say, it's all we have, keeping the joke alive, but her smile says it all. I smile back, for real this time. The darkness that dragged me down last night, it's lifting. Darkness, the dream, that's what soured my sleep, what woke me in fear and anger. That's the source of it all. Tanana came to me, naked, as always, but different, darker, not radiant or perfect. Her belly was marred, torn, and scratched deep. I almost asked, but there'd been no room for questions. Her anger filled the space between us like fire. She'd said she was coming for me, that she would have me. I remember how she'd changed her words. Over the dreams, her message had shifted. It used to be demands, serve her master. Then it became union, a bond between her and me. Power, she said. Together we could overthrow him. But last night, it changed again. It wasn't her voice that spoke. It was his.
Season 6, Episode 8, The Weight of Names. There's a quiet shift happening here, not in the world around them, but in how Cullen is being seen. Titles carry weight, not because of what they are, but because of what people believe them to be. And belief, in this world, shapes everything. In this episode, Cullen doesn't step into power. Power is placed on him, interpreted and defined by others before he has the chance to understand it himself. And that disconnect, that's where tension begins to build. If you're following the story, this is one to sit with. If you haven't yet, you can find more at mikecarmel.ca. And if the series is resonating with you, consider leaving a rating or review on your platform. It helps more people find the story.